morning and welcome to the beloved community at River of Grass Unitarian Universalist Congregation, both here and in person and live streamed on Zoom and Facebook. My name is Maureen Lundell, and I just found my place. I've been a member of the congregation since 2004, and I serve as the vice president. This morning, I especially want to welcome our visitors, and hope that you stop by our welcome table by the door, and let us know how to stay in touch with you. We would like to invite you to stay for coffee after the service and enjoy our hospitality and conversation. For all of you here in the room, it's wonderful to see your faces on this rather overcast Sunday morning. For all of you who join us on Zoom and Facebook, we are so happy you're here. However you made your way to us this morning, you are welcome. At River of Grass, we are committed to our mission, to nurture our spirits, to love intentionally, and create a just and healthy planet. River of Grass is an unapologetically progressive home for seekers of truth, boldly told, love freely given, hope never failing, answering our call for peace and justice for all living things and the earth, our home. We open wide our doors and our hearts to you as we come together on this journey of transformation for ourselves and the world. May our sacred time together today be one of caring, courage, and a call to action.
As we continue our October theme of vision this morning, we open our hearts with these adapted words from Rebecca Ann Parker, an ordained United Methodist minister in dual fellowship with the Unitarian Universalist Association. Choose to bless the world. The choice to bless the world is more than an act of will, a moving forward into the world with the intention to do good. It is an act of recognition, a confession of surprise, a grateful acknowledgement that in the midst of a broken world, unspeakable beauty, grace, and mystery abide. None of us alone can save the world. Together, it is another possibility waiting. And now we open our hearts through the sung word with this month's theme hymn, Keep On Moving Forward, with the River of Grass choir led by Gary, I think, maybe today. You're welcome to rise in body or in spirit as you are so moved and join in the singing.
No, down here. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on moving proudly. Keep on moving proudly. Keep on moving proudly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on moving loudly. Keep on moving loudly. Keep on moving loudly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on moving boldly. Keep on moving boldly. Keep on moving boldly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna reach across our border. Reach across our border. Reach across our border. And the occupation. And the occupation. Never turning back. Never turning back. Stop these wars together. Stop these wars together. Stop these wars together. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Keep on moving forward. Thank you, that was beautiful. Flaming chalice is a symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, a fierce fire of religious liberty, shining generation to generation, now ours to hold high. This morning, we welcome another new chalice lighter, Xander Horton Tavera, who will share his Kindle project with us before lighting his own chalice, along with the flame with ours.
Hi, my name is Xander, and I'm going to be sharing my project. It's called The History of the Chalice. The Savior of Jews. The chalice began with the group who called themselves the Unitarians. The Unitarians wished to help Jewish people who were in need. However, the Unitarians needed a symbol of hope so the Jews won't think they're here to harm them. So they produced the chalice to use as a symbol. In 1961, Unitarian merged Universalism, creating Unitarian Universalism. And my chalice lighting words are, we light this chalice to enjoy the gift that life brings to us.
In this undying light of love, let's renew our covenant as we say together, love is the spirit of love. Please join your voices with the words on our screen. We kindle our chalice flame this morning,
awakening the fire of our ancestors in our hearts, beacon of freedom, held to light the way, light of reason illuminating the path, spark of courage igniting our spirits, aglow with hope for all we endeavor to do together. Holy flame of times past, right in this present moment, that we may be the love that is our center and our foundation. Oh, blessed be.
In this repeated light of love, let us renew our covenant as we say together,
Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de esa congregación y el servicio su ley principal. Esta es nuestra gran promesa, vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad a través del amor y ayudarnos mutuamente.
Please turn to number 34 in the great hymnal or see the screen above as we sing together, Though I May Speak of Bravest Fire. Please rise together and by your spirit as you are so moved.
I may speak with bravest fire and have the gift to all inspire, but have not love. My words are vain as sounding brass and hopeless gain. I may give all I possess, and striving so my love profess, doth not begin by love within. The prophet soon turns strangely thin. Spirit come, our hearts control, our spirits long to be made whole. Let inward love guide every deed. By this we worship and are free.
in our community each week we share pieces of our lives. We take a moment to share joys and sorrows and gratitudes, here with the people who love us exactly for who we are, where we are right now. Here in the room we'll share from the book. If you're on Zoom and would like to share a thought, a prayer, a joy or concern with us in this moment, write it in the chat and we will look them up together. I'm going to pause briefly to give everyone on Zoom a little more time to write their concerns or joys. Candle is lit for continued prayers and support to those hurt by Hurricanes Helene and Milton. Prayers for my dear friend Anne, recovering in hospital following emergency surgery for an infected appendix. We'll lift up prayers for you here. Leanna and Ken light a candle of celebration on the arrival of 7-pound, 21-inch Nolan Michael Fruler. Who joined the world of mouth breathers this past Thursday at 0600 a.m. Mother Merritt and baby Nolan are all doing well. we light a candle of harmony for Nicholas, who has a show next weekend. Rock on, Nico.
And now, in the quiet of this hour, if there is something on your own heart that you wish to mark without words this morning, you are invited to come forward and drop a stone of reflection in the water as we hold one another in sacred community. For as William James wrote, we are like islands in the sea, separate on the surface, but connected in the deep. Let us share a moment of silent reflection, connecting us to all who are in need. We live these things spoken and unspoken, written and unwritten, asking that our hearts be seen, even as we become seers of hearts, that we may serve one another and those beyond our walls with love and thankfulness, today and every day. Amen. Blessed be, and so it is. Let us close the moment of reflection and renewal with our sung response to the melody of number 371 with the words found at number 381 on our screen.
Invite our youth and young at heart to gather in the story corner for today's wisdom story. Elizabeth leads the way.
Hi, Xander. Anybody else who's young at heart and would like to sit on the carpet is welcome to join. So today's story is Elizabeth Cady Stanton and the Right to Vote, written by Tanya Lee Stone and illustrated by Rebecca Gibbon. The illustrations are on the screen. What would you do if someone told you you can't be what you want to because you are a girl? What would you do if someone told you your vote doesn't count, your voice doesn't matter because you are a girl? Would you ask why? Would you talk back? Would you fight for your rights? Elizabeth did. All of these things used to be true back when Elizabeth Cady was a girl, and all of these things might still be true today if Elizabeth hadn't led the way. She was only 4 years old the first time she heard someone, a woman, say life was better for boys. The woman had come to visit Elizabeth's new baby sister. What a pity it is she's a girl. How could anyone not look at a little baby and feel sad? What could be wrong about being a girl? She was 13 years old when her father, Judge Caddy, told a woman whose husband had died that the farm she had spent her whole life working on would be taken from her. Without a husband, the law stated nothing belonged to her. Elizabeth was horrified by this unfairness. She said that the law should be cut out of every book. Judge Caddy told her that wouldn't change anything. The law was still the law, and only men were allowed to change laws. She decided right then and there that she could do anything any boy could do. She jumped over high hurdles on horseback. She rafted across a raging river. She won a prize for being the best in Greek studies. Her father was proud, but he worried about his strong-spirited, rule-breaking daughter. He should have been a boy. He knew how much easier her life would be. But Elizabeth wasn't interested in easy. At 16, since colleges would not let girls in, Elizabeth begged her father to send her to a girls' school to continue her learning. So while most young ladies were getting married, washing dishes, doing laundry, and having babies, Elizabeth was studying religion, math, science, French, and writing. Several years later, Elizabeth Caddy met Henry Stanton. He was an abolitionist, speaking out against slavery. He understood how unfair it was for people not to have rights or power. He did not laugh when Elizabeth talked about freedom. He did not laugh when Elizabeth said all people should be able to live life the way they choose. And he did not laugh when she told him she would add his name to her own, but would not give up hers just to marry him. So Elizabeth Caddy became Elizabeth Caddy Stanton, and had babies, cooked meals, washed dishes, mended clothes, and did laundry. She loved her babies. She did not love cooking and dishes and mending and laundry. One day, her friend Lucretia Mott invited her to a lunch. Lucretia had always shared Elizabeth's ideas about all the things women could do and would do if only they had the right. The other women at lunch shared them too. Elizabeth got fired up. She proposed they hold a meeting that would gather together lots and lots of women from all around to talk. But what would they talk about? There's so many things that needed to be set straight. Married women couldn't own property or even the money they worked to earn. Elizabeth had learned long ago that only men could change laws because only men could vote. That's it, she cried. That was the one thing that could change everything. If women could vote, they could help change all kinds of laws. This idea was so shocking, so huge, so daring, Elizabeth's friends gasped out loud. If they were flabbergasted, what would other people think? Elizabeth did not waver. She knew voting was the only way to make a difference. Her battle cry for the right to vote rang out. Have it, we must. Use it, we will. Even her Henry thought she had gone too far. But on July 19, 1948, when Elizabeth arrived at the meeting place, she saw for herself that she hadn't. The small church in Seneca Falls, New York, was filled with hundreds of people. Elizabeth read aloud what she and a few of the women had written together, their declaration of right and sentiments, to challenge the idea from the Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal. When she was finished, she looked into the faces of the crowd and waited. The room was silent. Then a rumbling began. It grew louder and louder and louder as people argued whether or not women should be allowed to vote. Word of the meeting spread like wildfire. Newspapers across the country scolded Elizabeth for her boldness, but other women joined her in battle. The idea of women having the right to vote began to buzz in the ears of people from Maine to California. Elizabeth had tossed a stone in the water, and the ripples grew wider and wider and wider. Many said Elizabeth must be stopped, but she was unstoppable. She changed America forever. Elizabeth worked tirelessly for women's rights. She even ran for Congress in 1866. She thought maybe she couldn't, that men could vote for her, even if women couldn't vote for her. In 1869, she and Susan B. Anthony, a Unitarian, created the National Woman Suffrage Association, where she served as president for 21 years. A woman's right to vote was not her only cause. She was also passionate about girls' sports, property, and child custody rights for women, co-education, equal wages for women, reforming divorce laws, abolition, and birth control. I dare say today she would be a great advocate for women's right to choose whether or not to continue a pregnancy. Elizabeth died 18 years before women won the right to vote. Without her devotion to the cause, it may have taken even longer. We owe her a huge debt of gratitude for the rights that women have today, and may she inspire us to keep marching.
Each week at River of Grass, to better know ourselves and our faith as Unitarian Universalists, we consider those among us who made history, and those, of course, making history as we speak. Mary Ashton Rice Livermore. Mary Ashton Rice Livermore was born in Boston in 1820 to a strict Calvinist family. At an early age, Mary began questioning her family's Baptist religion, especially the belief that some people were saved and others not. When she was 7 and a baby sister was born, she pleaded with her parents to send it back to God rather than risking that it might not be chosen to be saved. Later, another sister died when she was baptized, before she was baptized. Teenage Mary was horrified that her parents could accept the idea that her sister had died unsaved, and she declared that she would rather go to hell than to live with her sister there rather than going to heaven with God, a God that would damn an innocent soul to eternal torment. These experiences set the stage for Mary's discovery of Unitarianism. In her marriage to a young Universalist minister, Daniel Livermore, together they served several Massachusetts parishes before moving to Chicago, where they co-edited the New Covenant, a Universalist social reform journal. During the Civil War, Mary became a leader in the Sanitary Commission, a forerunner to the Red Cross. Besides frequent trips to the battlefield, she began her career as a public speaker to raise money for much-needed supplies. In the process, she helped organize thousands of local and aid societies. After the war, the Livermores came back to the Boston area. Mary's fame as a lecturer grew and grew. For the next quarter century, she traveled from coast to coast into Europe, delivering over 3,000 lectures and earning the accolade Queen of the Platform. In one of Mary's best-known speeches, "What shall we do with our daughters?" which she delivered over 800 times, she challenged people to think about the future of the young women in their care. She advocated for full education for girls so that they might be prepared to support themselves and live independent lives if they so chose. She chided her audiences for their culpability in neglecting to give their daughters some knowledge of business affairs. With utter indifference, she said, girls are allowed to grow to womanhood unfamiliar with the most ordinary forms of business transactions. Mary Ashton Rice Livermore believed in a future where women had autonomy over their own lives. This is our heritage.
Judy Chu is one of 3 congresspeople who identify as Unitarian Universalists, with Amy Berra, a Democrat from California's 7th District, and Deborah K. Ross, a Democrat from North Carolina's 2nd District. Chu, a former college professor who represents California's 28th District, has passionately devoted herself to issues of social justice, including immigrant rights, reproductive rights, voting rights, and climate justice. Her work on behalf of people who are often left behind by society is, she says, a reflection of her UU values. I am a Unitarian because I have seen so clearly that Unitarian Universalists believe in doing something about social justice, says Chu. And to me, that's what religious activity should be about. It's about making this world a better place. Chu is a member of the Congressional Pro-Choice Caucus, a group of over 150 members of the U.S. House of Representatives committed to advancing reproductive rights, freedom, and justice. She is also the vice chair of the Equal Rights Amendment Caucus. If passed, the ERA would enshrine in the Constitution equal rights for women and for all people, regardless of gender. She has consistently stood for reproductive freedom and bodily autonomy. In every Congress since 2013, she has been the author of the Women's Health Protection Act, which would permanently enshrine abortion rights into federal law and prevent states from being able to erode that right by passing abortion bans or imposing other medically unnecessary restrictions like ultrasound requirements and waiting periods. The House passed her bill for the second time in July of 2022 by a vote of 219 to 210. The Senate did not. We need to keep on fighting, Chu says. We need to keep the pressure up. And I believe that if our voices are united, then we can make a difference. I also think that we need to translate this into action in the November elections, because it is more important than ever to make sure that we elect leaders who want to make sure we uphold reproductive rights. This is our hope.
We sustain and strengthen this beloved community and its work in our world through gifts of our time, our skills, and our money. Each Sunday, a quarter of our undesignated offerings go to White Nut for Families, which provides meals, clothing, and support for those in need here in Broward County. The remainder supports our mission and ministry at River Grass. Ushers, please come forward to receive the offering.
I am open and I am willing to be hopeless. It seems so strange. It dishonors those who go before us. So lift me up to the light of change. There is hurting in my family. There is sorrow in my town. There is panic in the nation. There is wailing a world around. I am open and I am willing to be hopeless. It seems so strange. It dishonors those who go before us. To lift me up to the light of change. May the children see more clearly. May the elders be more wise. May the winds of change caress us, even though it burns our eyes. I am open and I am willing for to be hopeless. It seems so strange. It dishonors those who go before us. So lift me up to the light of change. Give me a mighty yoke to hold my confusion. Give me a desert to hold my fears. Give me a sunset to hold my wonder. Give me an ocean to hold my tears. I am open and I am willing for to be hopeless, which seems so strange. It dishonors those who go before us. So lift me up to the light of change. So lift me up to the light of change.
Thank you so much for these generous gifts of the heart. If you wish to contribute in another way to River of Grass, you can look at our donate page on our website at riverofgrassuu.org.
The following homily is woven from my words and the words of the Reverend Fred Small. Some of us might see Rev Small as a lyrical sage. He is currently Executive Director of Massachusetts Interfaith Power and Light and Minister for Climate Justice at Arlington Street Church in Boston. In his previous life, he was an environmental lawyer and a singer-songwriter. You heard one of his songs last week. We have two giant banners that hang beside our pulpit that read, "Side with Love." But what does it mean to side with love? The statement at face value sounds pretty easy. Just be there, be beside those who need your compassion and support. In an election season, it can also mean, as you consider your ballot choices, consider those who will be impacted by your choices, those who can vote and those who can't. Bring your love into the ballot box. Our new Unitarian Universalist value statements begin with a preface that reads, "Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love." We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. When Unitarian Lydia Marie Child defied the prohibition of her time against women speaking in public and demanded freedom for enslaved African Americans and the vote for women, when she protested the Trail of Tears, the brutal removal of the Cherokee, she was doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. She was siding with love. When Unitarian Universalist minister Jim Reeb heeded the call of Martin Luther King Jr. to Selma, Alabama, and was bludgeoned to death by racists, he was siding with love. When you write postcards to inspire people to support women's rights, you're siding with love. When you sign up to be a poll worker to ensure that the election process is fair and safe, you're siding with love. When you do the research to learn what's behind certain amendments on the ballot and let your values lead your decision-making, you're siding with love. When you make a donation for hurricane relief or create cards for children living in temporary shelters, you're siding with love. When you knock on doors to make sure people know when and where they can vote, you're siding with love. Siding with love doesn't require power, it requires courage, because courage is power. When a child on a playground sticks up for another child who is teased or bullied or left out because they're different, that child is siding with love. Siding with love affirms the full humanity of all people. It honors the inherent worth and dignity, the spark of the divine in each and every person. For more ways to side with love, you can reach out to Linda Crane, one of our members, to work at LifeNet for families, or visit the Side with Love webpage for lots of ideas of how to contribute. Or you can go directly to UU the Vote, an offshoot of the Side with Love effort, to sign up to participate in phone banking to help get out the vote. There's one this Tuesday evening. Or see me after service if you'd like information about the big canvas party to encourage folks to vote yes on Amendment 4 next Saturday in Wilton Manors. Or see Gary. If you'd like to write more postcards, we have them with us to bring people to the polls. There are so many ways to side with love in these final weeks, and we are accountable to each other for doing the work. This work takes a little time, and it takes a little courage. But my friends, we can do hard things. Progress is possible, but not guaranteed. When speaking at a Christian center in Greenville, North Carolina last week, Kamala Harris quoted from Galatians 6, verse 9. "Let us not be weary in doing good," she advised. Early voting begins tomorrow. From there, we have just 2 weeks for any last-ditch efforts to secure women's healthcare rights and elect people who will side with compassion, justice, and love. Let us not be weary of doing good. There is still too much good trouble to get into. And let us sing together. I am
Willing.
open,
I am willing
for to
be hopeless.
It
Seems so strange.
It dishonors those who
go before us.
so
Lift me up to the light of change.
Last week, we heard a piece from the Reverend William Henry Channing, where he cautioned us to listen to babes and sages. We began today's message with a sage. Let us now turn to a younger viewpoint. In keeping with this month's theme of vision, let us hear Xander's vision for our faith.
Hello again. And I'm Xander to the people who came late. I'm going to be sharing my essay. Have you ever had a dream about what this church can achieve? If so, what dreams, what goals do you seek to accomplish? My name is Xander, and I'll be talking about this topic in this essay. Now, when I was born, I was blessed by my Aunt Laura, who was the Unitarian minister. Then, when I was about 6 or 7, my mom started taking me to this church. There have been a few gaps in me going, but today I go every Sunday like most of you. My first vision is that many more people will join River of Grass. More people that join our community means more people working towards a good cause. How does having more people help? Think about a business. A business is successful because of the many different operations it can perform. The more operations perform, the more money the business gets. These many operations are performed by workers. The more workers, the more operations, and the more successful the business is. My second vision is that Unitarian Universalism becomes a widespread religion, like some widespread religions such as Christianity. Think about the business example again. A successful business will rarely ever be just one shop. A business will likely have many markets throughout the country, maybe even throughout the world. If our religion is widespread, it will have a huge upside. In conclusion, I think these two visions will have a positive outcome on our community, our country, and the world.
Let's go before us, so lift me up
To the
light of change.
Yeah, we should have practiced that. Before we sing our closing hymn, okay, now please rise in body or in spirit as you are so moved to join in singing our closing hymn. Number 1018 in the teal hymnal, Come and Go With Me. Or on the screen.
be singing in that land. They'll be singing in that land where I'm bound.
Please join me in saying our closing words together. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage,
Need not be lived again. Lift up your eyes upon the day breaking for you.
give
Give birth again to your dream.
We extinguish these flames, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
At Rivergrass, we know that Sunday is only the first day of the week. And it's a week filled with opportunities to live our Unitarian Universalist faith in a world starved for the kind of love we know. You can find these opportunities in our weekly email, our Facebook page, and at our website, rivergrassuu.org. Here is a very important announcement about a way to fulfill our mission and vision in the coming days, specifically November 16th. Ellie, could you tell us about auction?
I would love to tell you about the auction. Now, I was told I have to have it written down, so I'm going to pretend I'm reading it. Guys, do you realize that the auction is less than a month away? It's November 16th, as I already said. Now, many of you, as I have talked to you over the last couple days, weeks, have said, oh yes, I'm planning to come, but you haven't gotten your ticket yet. In the newsletter is this flyer. You will also be able to go to, get your pens and paper up or take a picture of this, go to thesilenauction.com. Yeah, Silent Auction Pro. See, y'all are reading. And you got the ID number up there also. Then you can buy your tickets. In a couple weeks, you are also going to be able to look at the auction donated items. Again, we have a deadline for those items to be coming in, and that is the end of this month, the 31st of October. I know it's a good big day for youngins and young at hearts for Halloween, but donation items should be coming in. Now, what you need to do is, if you go to a restaurant, a store, a vendor, or something that you have yourself, you're going to fill out this form. Now, if you don't have it, pick one up by the door. You can go to the auctions page on the webpage, and letters to businesses and stores where they get tax ID numbers so they can have a tax write-off for their donation. But that you need to write this up and either bring it next week or email it to auction@rivergrassuu.org. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to ticket sales and donations.
So this was neither on the docket, nor is it written down, because I like getting in good trouble, I guess. Meditation in person is back here in our sanctuary every Sunday morning, gathering at 8:30, beginning meditation at 8:45, and you'll have an opportunity to learn if you've not meditated before, and or if you have, perhaps just get some reinforcement about what it's about. So every Sunday morning here at Rivergrass, 8:30 a.m. Hope to see you there.
Thank you, Gary and Kelly. To those of you on Zoom, we're grateful that you joined us today. Feel free to Well, here you go. And the announcements are finished. Yes, thank you, Steve. To those of you on Zoom, I feel like talking to you so often today. We're grateful you joined us. Feel free to unmute yourselves and talk among yourselves. Have a wonderful Sunday afternoon. For everyone here, we invite you to visit our hospitality area for coffee and refreshments.
As we depart this place, let us hold before our eyes the vision of a world transformed. A dare to transform ourselves, to make it so. Until we meet again, march on.
Yes, I love it.
Close enough.